Welcome back to Red Business in Focus with thanks to Cork's local enterprise offices, where we are meeting entrepreneurs with big ambition. And this week we're joined by Richard Goggin of WorkWall. WorkWall is an employee management software that has been designed not just to improve current management systems of the hospitality and retail sectors, but also to focus on employee well-being and help reduce high turnover. Richard, you're very welcome. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
I've given a real tight overview there of what you do, but like everybody coming on to the series, you've got 30 seconds to tell us what you do.
Sure. So WorkWall is an employee management software for hospitality and retail that's been designed to not just improve current management systems, but also focus on employee well-being, on trying to reduce the huge staff turnover that's currently decimating those industries. Traditionally, they've both been very far behind when it comes to adopting the intelligent use of software to improve their lives, and I believe that it can be used to improve communication and work-life balance, as well as saving a lot of time, hassle and money.
Sounds like a really good idea. The turnover thing is a huge problem, isn't it? People will tell you that you'll take staff on, you'll train them up, and next week they won't come in, and you'll never really find out why. So how does the software help?
So, it's a huge issue in the industries. So WorkWall I spent a lot of my time during COVID, during lockdown, down several rabbit holes, trying to see, research competitors, what things were missing, where they were and how we could improve that, but also on employee turnover, on the main reasons staff were leaving, on the main reasons they wanted to stay, and talking to a lot of the owners, the managers in those industries about their pain points and how we could improve and work on the features. So with that, I want to do something for everybody in the industry, for staff, to managers, but also customers and owners. So we tried to focus on two of the main problems for each. For staff, it was flexibility, having more transparency, access and interaction with their rosters, trying to improve their work-life balance. That's going to improve their well-being, as well as focusing on other aspects of their well-being. As well as communication was a huge reason they were leaving. Not only is it going to improve their awareness and their knowledge, but you're also improving, the team, collaboration, engagement, and they're helping to work together to improve each other's lives. For managers, it's not having enough time and hassle. So they become the focal point for everything in these industries. It all has to go through them. So if we could create a platform that would help to divert a bit of that traffic away from them, do a bit of the legwork for them, and they still maintain final say, but try to do a lot of that work for them and take away a lot of that work they can.
Well, does it automate a lot of the processes? Because that's what a lot of people want right now, is not to be stuck. Let's take a roster, for example, not to be stuck in a roster, pulling your hair out, trying to go, how am I going to fill all these gaps? Does it help with that?
Well, what it does is it will create a platform. So for a lot of the time, managers have to follow up on staff and, see, are you okay to work this? Because it's constantly changing the whole time. So if you can create something that will allow the staff to feed in all their preferences, book their time off, and even when it's out there that the manager isn't there having to find cover for them, they have a bit more responsibility to find their own cover, that it's doing a lot of that legwork for the manager, but obviously they don't want to give them complete autonomy, so they need to have the final say. So it does a lot of the work for managers, so they can be moved from worrying a lot about the back of house stuff to actually focusing a lot on the front house and customers.
One of the things you talk about is well-being, and it's not something that we would traditionally think about with hospitality in particular. People working split shifts, being worked really, really hard at antisocial hours. Well-being normally didn't come into the equation, so how are you working it in?
Well, it's a huge focus in the industry at the moment, especially with how bad the kind of big mass exodus has been after COVID. They traditionally always struggled with it, with 30% up to kind of 80-100% staff turnover every year. So we decided to focus on making sure that people are checking in on their staff, that they're okay in systematic breaks of 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months, but also that they have a bit more control over when they work, a bit more flexibility. It's the one thing that they have over kind of any other industry would be flexibility. So try to improve that. So you're focusing on work-life balance, especially, as you said, very unsociable and long hours, that they're getting the breaks when they need to, when they feel sick, they have something to help them find cover for themselves, but also that the manager has a little bit of a system to help remind them when they need to check in on staff.
When the local enterprise offices started, software as a service really wasn't the thing, and it has emerged as probably one of the biggest growth sectors in the country, particularly in terms of innovation. So when you approached Leo, what support did you get to help develop the product so that you're getting in front of customers and actually able to pitch properly?
Well, Leo they've been fantastic, and they're very much there to catch you and help you. I was coming out of New Frontiers And as they said, you know, sometimes you can fall off a cliff edge almost there. So the Leo came in, they said, look, let us know how we can help you. We want to give you as much as we possibly can. So they started me out in the feasibility, which has been excellent for them to develop the product, which is very much development first, focusing on the customer and continually reiterating the product. So at the moment I'm on feasibility. We're going to move on to the PSSF, which is the pre-seed startup fund, which is to help you expand and grow a lot faster. And you know, they're constantly supporting. So you have your different levels of funding that they're saying, okay, we're going to go to this. Once you have that, we're going to move you to this, and we want to continually support you. And they're there within the network as well. They'll help you in any way they can. You know, my Leo officer, I'm always in touch with, constantly saying, you know, I've thought of this, can you help me with this, how can this help the business? And they're so fast to respond, and they've been incredibly supportive throughout.
I think you took part in the Start Your Own Business course as well. How did that help you?
Well, that was it. Initially, they were running that online during COVID. So I went on, took part in it, and actually the lady, Veronica Murphy, who was running it, said, you know, you would be great to apply for the New Frontiers programme, which gave me the time to step back from work and actually focus full time on the business. So that was the initial step, work through the Start Your Own Business, and then went through the New Frontiers and back into Leo again, which you know, it's the natural progression, I think.
Of course, it's out in the wild now. People are using it. What kind of feedback are you getting from customers?
Well, the wild is a great word for it at the moment. The feedback has been excellent. Look, there are a few competitors out there. The things that I focused on were obviously things that they were lacking, making it very easy to use, focusing on as much as we can, incorporating as much as we can for everyone in the industry, but making it simple and focus on certain things that aren't being addressed, like the well-being issue and stuff like that. So it's been met very, very well by both people who have not used anything in the past, that are still kind of stuck in the paper and pen method, but also on people that are using competitors and they know the benefits of it. It can be harder to convince other people to change old management systems to new and technology, but with people that are using alternatives, they absolutely love it, and they can see exactly how much easier it is to use and all the benefits that it brings.
What is the website if people want to look you up?
TheWorkwall.com.
TheWorkwall.com. Richard, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us. That is it for this episode of Red Business in Focus. Make sure you join us next time. We're going to be speaking to Ben Keohane of Snap for Meals. It's a charity loyalty app that charges a 25-cent fee per visit to a business and donates 80% of that to the Meals on Wheels network. It's a very different kind of business, and it is turning spending into giving back. That's next time on Red Business in Focus, with thanks to Cork's local enterprise offices.